Well, hello there, folks. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing absolutely peachy keen, wonderful, love, and full beam. Um, I'm doing very well. I've been playing Katarina a little bit more, and I got her to level 10, and I got her this kind of neat looking uniform. It looks like Talbot land, which is, province who loves Tal, god of nature and forests and big, spooky, weird things in forests. Because their colors are red and yellow. I'm not 100% sure why this was the default color scheme. I mean, it looks pretty good, but like we're not anywhere near Talbot land. We're in Nordland, but that's fine. We're in Nordland and Norska, but it's fine. I'll respect tall, and I'll respect having a uniform that confuses people because when I walk in, they go, "Oh, you're from Talabecland," and I'll be like, "No." It's like, "Oh, then why are you wearing those colors?" Hmm. It's kind of like wandering around and like you just wearing camo when you're not in the military, and it just confuses someone, and they're like, "Oh man, are you in the military?" And you're like, "No, man. This is just my cool raver outfit. It has all of the cool raver colors. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I rather enjoy these fun colors. And it's kind of cool. One of the things I really like about Warhammer Fantasy, and specifically like the Empire in Warhammer Fantasy, like one of the things that I feel like makes it kind of stand out more and makes it kind of more interesting to like look at from a I have no idea why that gave me 300 XP. Or makes it kind of more interesting from a like just like an outsider's perspective, or just like from looking at it, is that it has like so much color, and there's like I feel like I've seen a lot of like medieval fantasy type stuff where like everything is just kind of brown and not or brown and gray and just not very colorful. But the Empire is not that. The Empire is full of wonderful color, and truly is a glorious place to be if you don't mind having these horrible horror things coming towards you. It's kind of interesting to me too because I was looking at old horror miniatures, and I really like the old pink and blue horrors that you could get, like the metal ones. I think they looked really cool, and were just generally like it was really neat to be able to like see them. Although I don't really know if you can get them anymore. They're like, well, A, they're out of print, and then on top of that, they're like, I think I saw some kits for like the old demons that were like really expensive. Man, the old Spawn looked terrible. It is kind of amazing to me how much we've gone in terms of like miniature quality in the last few years, like these last few decades. It is really interesting to see like these things that basically look like no better than like a weird blob monster suddenly being like, just like this amazing quality. Well, for some miniatures they'll still look pretty um not so great. But I mean, it's mostly fine. It's mostly fine. But the other thing that I think we're very lucky that like if you really wanted to collect a Warhammer Empire army, I mean, yeah, you probably wouldn't necessarily call it an Empire army, uh, depending on where you were looking. But like you could get like some really high quality knights and just some really high quality miniatures these days, which is just so cool. It's really kind of cool to see like Warhammer Fantasy gets kind of a revival, partially because of Total War and other things, and people actually probably in large part because of Total War, and people really like Total War, and they like the characters, and they like. I feel like Warhammer Fantasy is probably one of those fantasy settings that just really always speaks, or doesn't always speak, but it speaks to a decent number of people. That's really cool. And me, I'm here being a little cat, enjoying the glorious time of being a cat in the ancient world of Warhammer. Let me tell you though, if I had to go back into, if I had to go into like the Warhammer fantasy world, I feel like I would want to bring like, you know, just like a bunch of like guns, and then I would have like a little gun wagon, and I would travel around showing people mysteries of the future, which would just be like, I don't know, running water, like toiletries. Yeah, with this magic paste, you can brush it over your teeth and they stay clean and healthy. And then people will go, "What devilry witchcraft is this?" And then I would go to Bretonia and I would go, "With this gun," and then they would scream about honor for like 30 minutes, just like rolling around on the ground, their peasantry being upset until I gave a bunch of the peasants like guns, and then I would tell them, "Hey, did you know that you can overthrow the aristocracy, but like with guns?" And then they'll be like, "Oh, okay, we'll do that." And then like next thing you know, we just got like a new kingdom made up of a bunch of peasants with like shotguns. And that's how I changed Warhammer. And you know, another thing that's been pretty fun is like I've been working on my own fantasy setting, and you know, I am taking inspiration from Warhammer, obviously, but I'm also kind of looking at Warhammer and seeing what things I really like, but also what things I think are just like kind of lame. I don't know, like I know a lot of people like the kind of grim dark nature of a lot of the Warhammer stuff, but to me a lot of it starts to feel just kind of not great, really. It's a lot of it starts to feel very I don't like it when everything's dark. I like it when there's like a bit of hope. Like and it's cool to have like the darkness there so that you can have like a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, or like, you know, when people overcome it, it's like, oh cool, they overcame like the big monster. Or in, you know, it not necessarily always have to have like good guys win or whatever, or like even have quote unquote good guys. You can make it very much politically and like morally gray in a lot of ways. Like, yeah, these people saved these people, but they did it for like you know, complicated reasons. Like part of the problem with a lot of like Warhammer stuff is that a lot of the stuff where it's like, oh no, the Grimdark, it and this is for the reason people always say Grimderp, is that there's like a lot of times it just kind of comes off as very dumb. Like it's just like there's a lot of stuff where you're just like, as you're going through, you're like, this just seems dumb. Like, why is this the way this is? It's like, oh well, because they're stupid, you see. And if you if you only listen to the stupid ones, then you're going to have a problem. And it's like, oh, okay, well, and then that ends up being wildly true, or like a lot of people are just kind of silly billies in the Warhammer universe, so you end up like getting these things where like people are like ridiculous, or like you could just, for instance, imagine if someone was like even just a little bit more tolerant, or you know, like willing to like use the tools at their disposal to do like good for the people around them, things would be better. But I mean, it's kind of like the whole window tax riots, where like I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be for the good of everybody, but that it mostly just ended up with the Reichsguard charging over a bunch of people who they didn't like. You know, as the Reichsguard do. They have their horses for a variety of reasons. One of them is to step on peasant rebellions. That's like one of the major reasons. You end up doing that sort of thing. Oh, cool. Hi. Why did you become a cultist? Was your life bad? Is it? I felt like your end was closer there, bud. But hey, I'll take your word for it. The Northern Host comes for you. They didn't make fun of my hairstyle and mustache. The Emperor ladies always make fun of my mustache. I just want to be loved. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of funny. I greatly appreciate being able to run around and throw swords at people and do a kill. Right? And thankfully the bad guys are here so that you can do the stabbing. But you would think that they would learn that just running around and setting a windmill on fire and then dancing around it and summoning a bunch of little horrors is... doesn't actually seem like it does very much for their cause, but they... I don't know, man, they don't really seem to listen. Then again, I'm all about the idea of let's increase people's life expectancy and improve their circumstances so that they don't rebel. And then people are like, no, can't do that. That requires me... Ooh, excuse me. That requires me to like, maybe give up a little bit of my wealth and things, and I'm not into that, they say. And I'm like, oh, I understand. You're a silly Billy, but I understand that you are a silly Billy. Just a second. I'm pretty sure I'm high enough level above this hero that it's not going to be a problem. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a... How do children climb this when you have the children here to help on the farm? But you know, it's like, oh man, I don't know, this big giant bird of evil spoke to me, so I'm just gonna run for it, man. Oh, it's Blonde Nun. I read Blood Nun, and I'm like, that seems like an appropriate Warhammer type name. Cool. Thank you for putting out the fires with your death. But yeah. Man, serving the Empire is great. Serving the Empire and getting all of this neato stuff is great. What's this? Okay, I'll just take the war tokens. Let me tell you. I love being a lady of the Empire who has a cool sword! Man. 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 But, you know, it's also cool that in this game we get to have an alliance with the High Elves and the Dwarves so that we get to make progress. Ultimate progress. But yeah, I just wanted to babble for a little bit about Warhammer. I hope you enjoyed me babbling about Warhammer random things. And I hope that you all have an absolutely wonderful day and are full of love and joy and things. And I hope that you all get to have a Warhammer Empire heart inside of your heart. And I hope that you know that Sigmar loves you, and that Makali loves you, and that Christ loves you, and that I love you, and I love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye.